It's Gordon Korman's greatest hits. Again. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the Cow Hat and Pajama Librarian. And if you've watched this channel for even a little bit, you'll know that I love Gordon Korman. I've been a fan of his ever since I read my first Gordon Korman book, a copy of Go Jump in the Pool that I bought from the book fair at my elementary school. And I've been a fan ever since. And so I was really excited to hear that he's written a second sequel to Ungifted and Supergifted, and it is Hypergifted. As our story starts, we pick up where Supergifted let off. Our hero is Donovan. He is a very, very average kid who, through shenanigans, ended up going to a gifted school briefly and becoming the designated pilot for their team's robot competitions. In the course of things, primarily in Supergifted, he became friends with Noah, an overachiever with a ridiculously high IQ who, more than anything, just wants to be normal. He doesn't want to be the genius. He doesn't want to be the great hope for an institution's academic success. He just wants to watch YouTube and enjoy his life. So when Noah hears that his parents have gotten permission to enroll him in Wilderton University early, he is appalled. He doesn't want to miss out on prom. He doesn't want to miss out on the class trips in high school. He doesn't want to miss out on any of that, but he's going to. And what's more, they're enrolling him for the spring-summer semester. Things aren't all bad for Noah though, because he's allowed to take a companion. Enter Donovan, who has plans of his own for the summer, namely slacking off and playing video games and watching TV and taking it as easy as possible. Until he's told by his parents that this is a great opportunity and that they wanted to take a trip to Europe anyway. So he is forced to go. And what's more, he's not just going to be Noah's companion, he's going to work. The university has set him up with a job being a junior counselor as part of their day camp program for mostly family members of staff and faculty and the like at the university. So off they go, neither boy happy to be there, but marginally happier that they're going together. And Noah packs a ridiculous amount of things to take with him, clothes and science stuff and some berries he wants to plant to continue growing while he's there. And Donovan packs basically enough clothes to get him through the summer and one or two other things, not a lot though. And they set off for Wilderton University. Well, they get settled into their dorm room. The two of them are taken on a tour of the campus by the dean, who mentions in passing when they see some logos splashed around as graffiti that their campus has the Society of the Gavel, a secret organization, and it instantly becomes Noah's new ambition to become a member of that secret society before the summer is over. They're also introduced to the mascot of Wilderton University, a pig named Porket. Fine swine, top of the line, is the line that everyone on campus quotes, chants, repeats anytime Porket is mentioned. She's an enormous pig and a mascot for them. And so the boys go about their summer. Noah heads off to his classes where he's expected to excel, and he starts a project where he's going to work on a fancy AI that he's developing that will help him determine scientifically who on campus is a member of the Society of the Gavel, so he can convince them to let him join. Meanwhile, Donovan heads off to start his job as a junior counselor. He's paired with a more experienced girl named Raina, who has done this before, and she's finally a full-fledged counselor, and they're assigned their group of kids. And in the course of things, they have to come up with a name. Now, a common name won't do the trick. They're not enticed by the normal sorts of things that kids their age would be into. Instead, after a snide suggestion from Donovan, their group calls themselves Baloney. and the summer progresses from there. Noah eventually runs his AI and identifies 2 boys on campus as being very likely members of the Society of the Gavel, and they have a frat house that they're staying in by themselves for the summer, and it needs quite a bit of work, and so they convince Noah that part of getting into the society involves cleaning and repairing their house, including building a new deck. And when Poor Cat accidentally eats some of the berries Noah was growing, in the aftermath, the boys get Poor Cat into their bathtub in their dorm room, where they feed her and hose her down as required, and they try desperately to keep people from knowing that she's there and blaming them for what they're sure is an accidental poisoning by those berries. To make things worse, one of the campers in Donovan's group is Jalen. His grandfather is a bigwig at the university, and he disappears at random times. He'll head out, they'll spend an hour searching for him, and he'll show up with a handful of beads that he hands out, or toothpicks that he gives to the other members of the baloney group, or just random nonsense. And Raina and Donovan can't keep track of him, can't figure out where he's been, and can't get a straight answer out of him for the life of them. And the summer proceeds from there. Okay, so I liked it. I liked the continuation of the story started in Ungifted and continuing to Super Gifted. Korman created 2 really, really neat characters in Donovan and Noah, and watching them bounce off each other is very, very entertaining. I think it's really neat that Noah recognizes Donovan's street smarts and the like, and everyday intelligence, even though he isn't what you would consider smart on an IQ scale. I think it's neat that Donovan has taken it upon himself to really kind of show Noah the ropes and make sure he's aware of things happening in the real world that he might not have picked up on. I like the back and forth between Donovan and Raina about running their group and how she saw things versus how he did, and her jealousy that the kids react so positively to Donovan and his idea of baloney as a group name. Well, she's been there for a couple of years doing this job and is much better at it by every stretch of the imagination, but she's not getting that same level of love and devotion. That was all to the good. So ultimately, I recommend it. I think you should borrow it from your public library. With that said, it's not perfect. There are spoilers ahead, and I'm going to talk about the deal breaker. The deal breaker is simply this. At the front of the video, I commented that this is Korman's greatest hits again. And that's exactly what Hypergifted is. It's a compilation of some of the greatest hits of his previous books. The 2 kids who kidnap a mascot and think that it's sick and it's their fault and it turns out it's pregnant. Well, that was straight from Bruno and Boots. This can't be happening in McDonald Hall, where they steal the rival hockey team's mascot. The person becoming a camp counselor and suggesting a really ridiculous group name that the kids latch onto, complete with a kid who pulls a disappearing act and shows back up and never really tells anyone what's going on until everyone finds out later in the book. Well, that's basically the plot for No Coins, Please, minus the financial gain to the character. So Hypergifted is a continuation of the Ungifted Super Gifted series with assists to This Can't Be Happening at McDonald Hall and No Coins, Please. It's good. It's classic Korman, but there's very little new here. Now, as the story continues, things get out of hand. Jalen keeps running off from these groups while Donovan tries to keep the group together and keep them focused on the various sports activities. Noah's AI disappears like it was deleted, and all of a sudden there are these weird YouTube videos showing Donovan doing amazing things like climbing Mount Everest and doing all sorts of ridiculous things. And in a fit of frustration about his inability to find and properly join the Society of the Gavel, Noah starts painting his own graffiti around that he intends to be his own secret society to make other people join. And things go from there. In the end, it turns out that, in fact, poor cat was pregnant, and she gives birth to a litter of pigs, and they get her out in time for everyone to be happy before they get a replacement mascot. Jalen was taking off to go play poker at a nearby nursing home, and that's why he comes back with random beads and buttons and matchsticks and so on. And it was Noah's AI that got out of control and automatically edited these videos of Donovan doing amazing things. So as things wrap up, Donovan gets ready to leave because it's the end of the summer. Noah decides to leave too because he decides he's not really ready for university life, even if his brain is, and he felt the classes were easy. And in the end, Noah receives a secret letter on plain stationery inviting him to consider himself a member of the Society of the Gavel. And as it turns out, Donovan wrote him that letter so that he wouldn't be obsessing over this thing and causing more problems trying to get into it in the future. So, like I said, I liked it. If you like Korman, read it. If you like Ungifted and Super Gifted, read it. But if you're a longtime Korman fan, just know that it's going to feel very familiar. Go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding for the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. Now, if by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thank you for listening to me hype up Hypergifted. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.